This training will focus on our family reunification protocols, as outlined in the Lincoln County School District Emergency Plan. A family reunification procedure is used when it is necessary to release students directly to their parent, guardian, or designated emergency contact due to an emergency situation that prevents a normal dismissal. Situations which may require a family reunification include, but are not limited to, a fire or damage to a school building, a natural disaster, a field trip emergency or school bus accident, violence in the surrounding community, or a situation involving a threat, weapons, or violence at school. A well-organized family reunification process will help to reduce anxiety during a potentially stressful situation and reunite children with their families in a structured, timely, and safe manner. Key components to our family reunification process include choosing a location early on in the crisis and deciding whether the reunification will take place on or off campus. Timely and consistent communications with parents, school staff, and students. Designating and managing 3 distinct staging areas: a parent check-in area, a family waiting area, and a student supervision area. And finally, the safe release of students to their parent, guardian, or designated emergency contact. Let's look at each of these in detail. The location. Many circumstances surrounding the emergency will impact decisions about the best location to conduct a family reunification. The school administrator, in consultation with the superintendent's office and the police or fire incident commander, if they are involved, will decide whether to hold the reunification on the school campus or at an off-campus location. Here are some considerations for each. Depending on the situation, you may be able to stage the reunification at your school. Logistically, this is the easiest solution, since students are already there, secured and supervised, and they won't have to be transported anywhere. You may choose an on-campus reunification if the conditions on campus are safe, if it does not interfere with a crime scene or fire rescue operations, and if roads are open and accessible to parents and guardians, or in any other situation that seems appropriate. If an on-campus reunification is chosen, decide if you can use indoor staging areas or if it will be necessary to hold the reunification outside. You may even choose a combination of indoor and outdoor staging areas. Weather may be a factor. In cases where it is not safe to remain on campus, or where parents coming to and from the school may create more of a hazard, a family reunification may take place off campus. Logistically, this is much more challenging since students and staff will need to be moved either by bus or on foot to the off-campus site. Securing and supervising students while in transit requires extra planning and diligence, and it may take time for bus drivers to report in. The decision to implement an off-campus reunification will need to be made early in the crisis, if possible, before parents begin arriving at school. Work with the superintendent's office to get a mass phone call sent to families, to arrange for buses, and for assistance with logistics at the reunification site. Off-campus reunification sites are divided into 2 categories: near campus, that is sites within walking distance, and away from campus, sites which require buses to transport students. In most cases, try to avoid using neighboring schools, since parents from that school may also feel the need to rush to school to pick up their children, creating traffic jams and disruptions to the larger school community. Potential off-campus reunification sites include neighborhood churches, theaters, community centers, etc. Check our written family reunification plan for a confidential list of possible facilities near your school. We don't publicize this list because every situation is different, and decisions about using these sites are made based on the circumstances of each particular emergency. Also, publicizing this information could tip off someone aiming to cause harm, providing them an additional target. School administrators can work to develop a partnership with the off-campus facility managers near their school in advance of an emergency, so that in a real incident, a simple phone call can allow for quick access and use of the facility. Now let's talk about the importance of timely communications with staff, students, and parents. We'll start with staff and students. Give clear instructions about the reunification plans to school staff using the intercom, email, runners, and possibly even by using a megaphone if you are outside or in a large auditorium. Supplying school staff with information will not only calm them, but it will help them to manage students and the process more effectively. Prepare students for movement to the reunification area and explain what is being done and why. If applicable, prepare students to board buses or to walk to an off-campus reunification site. Work to keep students calm. When moving students to a reunification area, it is very important to keep everyone together and prevent students from wandering off. Do not release students to parents while moving students to the reunification area. Remind staff of this plan. Work with the superintendent's office to assist with parent notifications. Get this in motion as soon as possible using mass phone calls, district and school websites, social media sites, press releases, etc. Here is a sample message that could be sent to parents using our mass phone call system. This is an important message from Newport City School. Today is Monday, February 29th. It is 2:30. The emergency situation at Newport City School is over. Please listen carefully to these student release instructions. Parents, please go to the Newport Community Center located at 1234 Community Center Drive to pick up your child. Do not come to the school. All students, including those who normally ride the bus, will be taken to the Newport Community Center and released to parents and guardians there. Bring your photo identification with you to the Newport Community Center. School staff will check your ID against a list of individuals approved to sign out each student. This is for the safety of your child. Thank you for your patience as we work to reunite you with your child. Print out a similar statement to be kept at all office phones so that office staff can relay a consistent message. Fax or email a copy of the statement to neighboring schools and to the 911 dispatch center, as they often receive calls from concerned parents and community members, and this will allow everyone to give out the same instructions. Refer media inquiries to the superintendent's office. This chart provides several different family reunification messages that can be used or modified as needed based on the emergency situation you are dealing with. These messages are found in our written family reunification plan located in the staff intranet section of our website. Now let's discuss the importance of designating and managing 3 distinct staging areas. It is not uncommon for news of school crisis incidents to result in parents, guardians, and loved ones rushing to the school or reunification site to pick up their children. In a major crisis, several adults for each student may come. Parents may become frustrated by heavy traffic, parking challenges, and uncertainty about how to sign out their students. You will need to be very organized at the reunification site in order to reduce stress and work to provide a safe structure in which to conduct the reunification. Identify 3 distinct areas: a parent check-in area, a family waiting area, and a student supervision area. Designate a different person to be in charge of each distinct area and a team to assist in each area. You will also need staff runners to retrieve students from the student supervision area and bring them to the family waiting area to be reunited with their families. Staff working in the family reunification areas should bring their two-way radios and wear identifying vests and ID badges. Bring your Safe Team Go kit, which contains your student emergency contact information and has all your family reunification vests, signage, and forms in the bottom section of the kit. Arrange for tables, chairs, pop-up tents if needed, and other resources to be brought to the family reunification site. Consider having some sort of security or law enforcement, an administrator, and a staff member who speaks Spanish at or near the parent check-in area. The student supervision area must be physically separate and out of view from the parent and family areas. This is where you will continue to supervise, secure, and care for students until they are each individually reunited with family. If indoors, you may decide to keep students in classrooms or move them to a central location like a gym, cafeteria, media center, or common area. If outdoors, a fenced-in area such as a ball field or grandstands may suffice. In some situations, a student supervision area may even be inside buses. In any case, consider how you will meet basic needs such as toilets, warmth, water, etc. As parents begin to arrive, calmly give them a family reunification card. This card gives some details on what to expect of the process and provides a mechanism for school staff to match up students with the appropriate parent, guardian, or designated emergency contact. Ask parents to complete Section 1 of the form. To go to the parent check-in area and get in line according to their child's last name. To turn in the form and be prepared to show picture ID. If they don't have ID, direct them to the No Identification line. And reassure parents. Thank them for their patience as the school works to safely reunite them with their student. At the parent check-in area, staff will fill out Section 2 of the family reunification card once it is handed to them. Follow the checklist on the card. Using the student emergency contact list, verify that the person requesting the student is on the list. Check their ID against the list and circle their name on the list. Once verified, ask them to proceed to the family waiting area, which is where they will be reunited with their student. Give the form to a staff runner who will retrieve the student and complete Section 3. For family members who do not have the appropriate identification, work with your staff who know your families to help identify them and get them through the process. However, do not release a student to anyone who is not authorized on the student's paperwork, even if the child claims to know that person. If they become argumentative or uncooperative, notify the nearest supervisor or law enforcement official. Now let's talk about the family waiting area. This is where families will wait for their student to be retrieved by the staff runners. This is also where they will be reunited with their children. This process will take some time, and parents may become stressed and impatient. Consider setting up an information table at the family waiting area. Provide staff who can remain calm, understanding, and professional to answer questions and reassure parents. You may want to use staff who already know the school's families and have a good rapport with them. Include staff who speak Spanish if needed. Now let's talk about the role of the staff runners. The staff runner will receive a verified reunification card from the parent check-in area staff. They will take the reunification card to the student supervision area to retrieve the student named on the card and remind the teacher to mark the student released on their student roster. They will take the student with them to the family waiting area to complete the reunification card and reunite the student with their family. At the family waiting area, the staff runner will call out the name of the adult listed in Section 1 on this form who is approved to pick up the student. Verify photo ID again if necessary. And complete Section 3 of the card. Have the parent or guardian sign for the student and indicate where they are going next. The staff runner signs and notes the time of release. And the reunification cards are retained by the school and stored alphabetically by the last name of the student. Now the student can be released to their parent or guardian. This sounds like it could be a cumbersome process, It is. It takes time, patience, and diligence to implement a process like this in order to safely reunite each student with their parent, guardian, or designated emergency contact. Do you have to use it every time? Absolutely not. Every emergency situation is different. This family reunification guide simply provides a structure that can be used or modified to fit the circumstances you find yourself in. In a smaller scale situation, such as a bus accident or a field trip emergency, you may determine it is reasonable to use a simple sign-out sheet for handling the documentation piece, such as this form. In the most severe of circumstances, such as a school shooting situation, which we all hope will never happen here, the protocol described in this training would be very appropriate to fully implement. While school emergency situations requiring family reunifications are rare, they do occur with enough frequency that it is necessary to have a well-defined process and the supplies ready in order to implement it. Understanding these concepts, knowing your role, and remaining calm during a real emergency situation will help students and parents through a potentially chaotic and stressful time as we work to bring families back together safely. That wraps up this training on Lincoln County School District's Family Reunification Protocols.